You won't do it. But they, I mean, like, they got a quarter acre, you know, so they got a little, electric mower. Mow that thing.
Let the record show it's 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Sarah, will you please give the roll call?
Eddie Guggenhauer.
Here.
Linda Barnhart.
Present?
Eric Goff.
Here.
Buchanan Morton.
Present.
Tim Lewis.
Present.
Daniel Gant. Michael Bush.
Here.
Ronald Schiller.
Okay, we do have a quorum present. The first item is the approval of the agenda. That has been sent to you. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Second.
Okay, there are no changes. A motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Gokenhour to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any questions? Opposed? Motion passed. The next item we have is sunshine law speakers, and that's whenever, if you're here to speak to the council about something other than what's on a public hearing, this is your opportunity to do that. If you are here to speak to a project that is on the agenda, then you'll have time to do that at the public hearing site. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to the commission regarding anything other than what's on the agenda? Okay, let the record show that there is no one to speak under the open governmental process. Okay, we have approval of the meeting minutes. Those again have been sent to you.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Goff to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Questions? Opposed? Meeting minutes are approved. We have one public hearing this evening, and that's for Hickory Ridge.
Hickory Ridge, file number 2308-284, tied to BCP 31-04. The developer is Jefferson Business Park Associates. The engineer is Greenway. It's located in the Arden District, tax map 11, parcels 34.1, 37, 37.1, 37.2, and 38. The site is located north of the intersection of Charlestown Road, also known as West Virginia Secondary Route 9/59, and Van Cleesville Road, known as West Virginia Route 115. The project proposes 278 residential lots on 55.6 acres to be served by public water and sewer. At the October 2nd, 2006 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Section 602.1 of the 2004 subdivision ordinance, allowing a divided access boulevard entrance to be provided in lieu of a second entrance for the residential development. At the January 7, 2019 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Section 801, Table 8-1A, Paragraph 8 of the Subdivision Ordinance 2009, requiring 834 parking spaces. At the same meeting, the developer was also granted an exception to Section 705.1 of the 2009 Subdivision Ordinance requiring sidewalks. The developer is now requesting a 3-year extension of the previously approved major plan change, which expired July 20th, 2023. The project was originally submitted in 2004. The project was extended through 2018 when the developer was required to come into compliance with the 2015 Stormwater Management Ordinance and the 2009 Subdivision Ordinance. The major plan change was approved on July 20th, 2020. Since the major plan change approval, the property has remained undeveloped and a final plat was never submitted. Also, all previously submitted outside agency permits and approvals are expired. Staff recommends denial of the plan extension request and recommends that the developer submit a sketch plan to bring the site in compliance with the current 2023 Stormwater Management Ordinance and Subdivision Ordinance. All previously approved waivers would be nullified.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Yes. Hello, my name is Ryan Shaw. I work for the owner and developer for the property.
Thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing. It's your opportunity to make your comments known regarding this project. If you came and you signed in to speak under the public hearing, now's your opportunity. We'd ask that you come forward, state your name, your address, and any comments you might have.
I have scripted this so as to not take up your time and not get sidetracked. My name is Dorothy Sherbat. My property, which is about 12 acres, abuts and adjoins the 55 acres of Hickory Ridge property. As a matter of fact, I won't even say how many years ago, I and my uncle co-owned that property. Way back.
Excuse me, you may want to pull the microphone down a little bit because this is being recorded. There we go.
Short people.
That's good. Yep, I understand.
I believe that all developments and projects should follow current policies and guidelines that the Berkeley County Planning Department has in place. I, as a resident, am particularly concerned that proper guidelines are enforced for stormwater management and safety. And a single entrance and exit, to me, is very troublesome. Consideration, I believe, should be made for appropriate and expedient first responder access, to this development. After all, they're all 278 acres. And I was looking at the plot plan. I know that's a ravine area and things are done when people develop, but still 278 acres one way in, same way out, even though it looked like there were two accesses, but they didn't join. One went in and out, and the other one went in and out. I may be wrong on the plot plan. The 2006 waiver, I think, for that entry exit should be nullified. And there hasn't been any activity on this property for ages. I can see the property I'm right next to, from my dining room windows, sunroom, everything. Nothing's going on over there. That's okay as far as I'm concerned. But waivers from 2006 are surely in 2023 out of date. And I personally think they should be nullified. I hope that the Planning Commission agrees with the planning staff recommendation that no plan extension be granted and that the developer should submit a new plan which would bring the site into compliance with today's ordinances. Thank you for allowing me to offer my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak regarding this project?
There is no one else. I move to close the public hearing portion.
All right, let the record show that there is no person to speak other than Mrs. Sherback. I have a motion by Mr. Goff to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second by Mr. Gokenhour. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any questions? Public hearing is now closed. Okay, Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Shaw or of the staff?
I guess my question, or not, maybe not even be a question, and it's probably subjective, but the reason for your request is to need additional time to sell and or develop the property at current economic conditions in the state of the real estate market in the area. Did we just not go through the hottest time almost on record?
Yes, sir, in many ways that we did. However, obviously, this was just stated, the property has not been developed yet, and the 2020 plan extension has expired, thus we are requesting an extension to keep it current.
Additional questions?
You ready for a motion?
I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion, we accept staff recommendation of the extension request and recommend that the developer submit a sketch plan to bring the site in compliance with current ordinances, and as also all approved previous waivers will be nullified.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Goff, to accept the staff recommendation, and that is to deny the approval for an extension and to send them back to sketch plat review, whereby all of the project will come into compliance with the existing ordinance. And you need also to get all your outside agencies updated too, but you knew that, I'm sure. Okay, I have a motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded. Are there any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that it's a unanimous decision. The project is back to sketch plan review. The next project, that consists our public hearing, the next project is for preliminary plan approval for Stonecrest PUD.
Yes, ma'am. Stonecrest PUD, Lot C7. File number 2306-222. Developer is Sunset Water Services and the engineer is Fox. Project is located in the Hedgesville District, tax map 28, parcel 17.12. This site is located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Severna Parkway and Cerritos Trail in the Stonecrest subdivision. The project proposes a 5,000 square foot building for Sunset Water Services on 1.24 acres to be served by public water and sewer. Sunset Water Services is an existing business which sells and installs residential water treatment equipment and supplies, including water softeners and reverse osmosis filtration systems. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On September 18, 2023, County Engineer Doug Smith deemed the above mentioned project compliant with the subdivision ordinance of 2009. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent Stonecrest PUD?
Clint Rock, Fox and Associates.
Clint Rock? Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Rock or of the staff?
Hearing none, I'll make a motion, we accept staff recommendation for the preliminary plan. The plan does meet the requirements of the subdivision ordinance.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Lewis, to accept the staff recommendation, and that is to grant the preliminary plat approval for Stonecrest PUD, Sunset Water Services. Any questions? I have a motion on the floor. It's been properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is AMP Residences.
APM Residences, file number 2306-216. Developer is Al Harmouche Properties Management, LLC. The engineer is Thrasher. Project is located in the Apecan District, tax map 6, parcels 1.6, 1.7, 1.11, 2, 4, 5, and 6. The property is located behind APM Inn and Suites on McMillan Court and adjoining Edwin Miller Boulevard and Interstate 81 interchange. The site will be accessed by Mossy Lane. The project proposes 264 dwelling units within 5 apartment buildings and the redevelopment of an existing hotel into a 11-story, 12 rooms per floor hotel. The total site is approximately 16 acres and will be served by both public water and sewer. At the April 4th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Section 801, Table 8-1A, Item 7, off-street parking, reducing the number of required parking spaces to 2.1 spaces per unit, plus 1 space per employee, plus 10% additional spaces for guests. On September 27, 2023, County Engineer Doug Smith issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County Subdivision Ordinance of 2009. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore, staff recommends approval of the preliminary plan.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project APM Residences?
Brad Messenger with Thrasher.
I'm sorry, your last name?
Messenger.
Okay. Any commission members, do you have any questions regarding the project to Mr. Messenger or of the staff?
I just have two general comments. One is just noting the size of the proposed project and the adjacent residential use. I guess my personal opinion is that I would hope there would be a fairly robust screening plan for that side of the property. And just for the benefit of this body, I do note that there are proposed electrical vehicle stations, which we've discussed in the past, and certainly a welcome addition to the project. So, thank you.
As far as the screening goes, we have a proposed fence as well as plantings there along that entire stretch.
Yeah, thank you.
The drawing that we get is a little hard to see on
Yeah.
that.
Understand.
Is that McMillan Court, is that a state maintained road?
I think it is.
I believe it is up to near
to the entrance.
Yeah, near the entrance.
Apartment buildings it is. And the state did require improvements at New Builder and Good Food, and they are shown on here.
Any further questions?
I move approval of the preliminary plan.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Norton and second Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation, and that is to grant preliminary plan approval to APM Residences. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any questions? Motion passed. Okay. The next is final plat determination, the Lakes of Martinsburg.
The Lakes of Martinsburg, Section 1, Phase 7, lots 188 to 194, file number 2212-367. Developer is Banbury Holdings LLC. The engineer is Integrity. The site is located in the Opequon District, Tax Map 2, Parcel 35. The site is located along Weaver Lane, approximately 0.5 miles west of its intersection with Williamsburg Pike, also known as US Route 11. The final plat proposes 7 single-family lots on 1.6 acres to be served by public water and sewer. At the July 6, 2004 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted waivers to the following: to allow a one-way street with a single parking breakdown lane, to allow parking on one side only of a curved pavement section, to allow an eyebrow and modified eyebrow street design to create a center island between the eyebrow street and the main travel lane, to modify the cul-de-sac requirements to allow a center island, and to allow for a modified ditch section with a broad, shallow 6-inch deep to convey the runoff from the 25-year storm to an underground stormwater system. On September 19, 2023, County Engineer Doug Smith found the above-mentioned project compliant with the 2009 subdivision ordinance. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of the final plat approval at the November 6, 2023 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the lakes of Martinsburg?
My name is Mark McDonald. I'm with Integrity Federal Service.
I'm sorry, your name?
Mark McDonald.
Okay. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. McDonald or of the staff? Some time ago, we had a public hearing on the lakes. I don't think it was this section, but they were saying something about the storm pond.
Yes, the storm pond was not holding water.
Right.
And to this, I have nothing submitted back to me other than hearsay. So I know that there were issues going around with that between the HOA and the developer. I have seen a few things and made comments on, but nothing has come back to us about that.
That is not this section though, right?
That has nothing to do with this, and I think there is some pending litigation.
Is there?
Between some property owners there and
Okay.
we're not in the middle.
Okay, all right. Well, I just remember that being an issue at a public hearing. I want to clarify that for those present this evening. Okay, but again, that has nothing to do with this section that we're hearing this evening. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. McDonald or the staff?
May I make a motion, we accept staff recommendation for final plat determination and advertise for public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at November 6, 2023 Planning Commission meeting.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Gokenhour, second by Mr. Lewis, and that is to conduct a final plat public hearing on November 6, 2023, at which time the final plat determination will be voted on. Are there any further questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is overlook at Riverside.
Overlook at Riverside, Phase 5, lots 53 to 64, 158 to 163, and 214 to 221. File number 2308-260. Developer is Rotz Family Limited Partnership. The engineer is Frederick Siebert. Project is located in the Falling Waters District, map 7, parcel 160.3. Property is located on the east side of Williamsport Pike, US 11, and south of Interstate 81. The final plat proposes 14 townhome lots and 12 single-family lots on 3.96 acres to be served by public water and sewer. At the April 2nd, 2018 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted the following deviations for a planned unit development, PUD. Direct access to boulevard not be permitted. Sidewalk to be placed on north side of boulevard. Plant fast-growing trees as a buffer between Brookfield and Overlook at Riverside. At the September 16, 2019 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted a waiver to Article 8, Section 801, Table 8-1A, reducing the required parking for multifamily dwellings with a minimum of 1.86 spaces per unit being provided. On September 19, 2023, County Engineer Doug Smith found the above-mentioned project compliant with the 2009 subdivision ordinance. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at the November 6, 2023 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Trevor Frederick, engineer, Frederick Saber.
Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Frederick or of the staff? There's no questions, we're ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept staff recommendations for final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at the November 6, 2023 Planning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lewis, second by Mr. Goff, to accept the staff recommendation and as to conduct a public hearing, at which time the final plat determination will be made at a November 6, 2023 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
It seems like a long way away, but it's certainly not.
No. October's right here. Yeah. Okay, staff, legal, do we have anything for you guys?
Hope not.
No? Staff? Staff?
Now move we adjourn.
Okay, let the record show there's nothing more to discuss. It's 6:25. Meeting adjourned with Mr. Goff. Second?
Second.
Second with Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?